Are you still favoring Crawford in the fight, or has your opinion changed?
No. I mean, I've always favoured Canelo in the fight.
Well, I've heard that you want Canelo to win, but you feel...
Of course, yeah. I like Terence. I've worked a lot with Canelo, and I think just because of what I saw in Riyadh and because of the threat, and he's getting on as well, Crawford, but it's just like the mindset of Crawford. Like, there's no doubt in Terence Crawford's mind that he wins this fight. And when you spend a bit of time with him, you kind of start buying into that. And I guess that's what happened in Riyadh, because I travelled with him to the fight, and but it's a 50-50 fight. I think gun to head, I'm probably picking Crawford right now. But I want Canelo to win. And he can win for sure. But Terence is going to make it really tricky and awkward for him. And I don't think he's going to like that kind of fight.
Good fight. If 168 pounds, I think it's Canelo, but it's Canelo better technique, because 50-50. If 12 rounds, Crawford win, I think. If knockout, it's Canelo.
What makes Crawford so difficult to fight against?
Terence Crawford has completely transformed his body, looking like a powerhouse as he gears up for his upcoming bout with Canelo Alvarez. This has caught the attention of many boxing experts who can't help but weigh in. Legendary trainer-turned-analyst Teddy Atlas shared his thoughts with Fight Hub TV about this potential blockbuster matchup. He mentioned that it would be tough to bet against the American southpaw. According to Atlas, very few fighters are willing to push their limits like Crawford does. He said, "I would never bet against that guy. Maybe Father Time will catch up to him, but I'm not sure any weight division can."
Who's getting better? He's improved recently. I think he still needs more seasoning, but I see an improvement in him.
It's a huge challenge since Canelo is an incredible fighter, bigger, stronger, and with serious punching power and timing. But just being smaller won't stop Crawford. He'll develop a strategy that forces his opponent to fight on Crawford's terms, making him rely on his size rather than his skill.
Well, Alvarez thinks you're not a 54-pounder. In other words, you say, nah, he's too small.
That's his take. There's a reason why Israel was so respectful in the fight. Anytime I let my hands go, he either grab me or move. For the bigger guy, you should have been walking me down. You should have been bullying me. Canelo can say what he say.
He just doesn't feel like you're a 54-pounder. He believes.
Terence Crawford faces tough odds as he prepares for his highly anticipated super middleweight showdown with Canelo Alvarez this September. And that's exactly the kind of challenge he thrives on. Going up against the Mexican star, Crawford must deal with a significant strength gap inside the ring. Given the circumstances, Crawford is being viewed as the underdog for the first time in his 17-year pro career. This is often the case when a future Hall of Famer moves up 2 weight classes to take on another all-time great and 4-division champion like Alvarez. But when you break down the physical stats, Crawford actually matches up well. Standing at 5 feet 8 inches, he holds a slight half-inch height edge and a 4-inch reach advantage over Canelo. Although Crawford is 37 and 3 years older, he's experienced less punishment overall, having fought 25 fewer fights and nearly 263 fewer rounds than his opponent. "I don't need to stop him, I just need to beat him," Crawford told the Ring in a detailed, exclusive interview. "I'm not stepping into the ring with the goal of knocking Canelo out. Could it happen? Absolutely." He went on to explain, "When I look at Canelo, he's like a bigger, smaller guy moving up through the weight classes. These bigger fighters tend to be slower, so they might land a solid punch, but he often sees it coming just in time. Even if he gets hit hard, he knows how to roll with the punches because he's coming from a lighter division that was faster and sharper. I come from a similar background, faster and sharper from a smaller weight class." Recently, Crawford shared a photo of a scale reading 186 pounds. When asked about his current weight, he laughed and responded, 140 pounds.
Time I see him, he'll come and be like, "Canelo?"
Yeah, you know how Billy do it too, yeah.
I'll be like, man, come on, man. Yeah. So every time he say that,
I just be like gradually getting into like looking at like, okay. And he's not that big. You know, he heavy, but he not that big.
Right.
You know, and I'm just like, all right. I'm laughing, but at the same time.
Crawford began his professional journey in 2008, fighting at 137 pounds. After capturing a lightweight title, he went on to become the undisputed champion in both the 140 and 147-pound divisions. Currently, he holds the World Boxing Association's 154-pound title, which he secured by defeating Israil Madrimov last summer. Alvarez, meanwhile, started his career at just 15 years old in 2005, weighing 139 pounds. Over the years, he has claimed championships in multiple weight classes, including 154, 160, 168, and 175 pounds. If he wins his upcoming fight against William Skull on May 3rd in Saudi Arabia, he will become a two-time undisputed super middleweight champion. Crawford commented on Alvarez's vulnerabilities, saying, "If Canelo gets caught with a clean, sharp punch he doesn't see coming, he can definitely be hurt."
The crazy stuff about me going up and having a tough time, but he went up in weight and lost. That's the difference. I went up weight and won. He went up and lost. You know, so let's not do that.
He's not a machine. He's human, just like me. He bleeds just like I do, Crawford said. I'm not going in thinking I can't hurt him, but I'm also not focused on knocking him out. I'll fight my fight, and if a knockout opportunity comes, I'll take it. Canelo's only 2 losses came against Floyd Mayweather in 2013 and Dimitri Bivol. Many see similarities between Crawford's style and Mayweather's, so beating Crawford could show how much Canelo has evolved as a fighter.
I respect Crawford. He's a great fighter, and I always say that, no disrespect him. But you know, sometimes it's a little crazy that people talking about a small fighter like Charlo. He's big, which he is big, and everybody's talking about if I'm gonna face Crawford.
In an interview with Bway, former world champion Barry McGuigan shared his thoughts on the upcoming Canelo versus Crawford fight, saying bluntly that Crawford needs to regain his former punching power and timing.
I'm going with Terence Crawford. You know, big weight jump, a dangerous fight, but somebody's got to prove to me that they can break Terence Crawford's will and that he can't figure it out against you. You know, it ain't no disrespect toward Canelo, but I've said this in the last couple of years. I'm not betting against Terence Crawford against nobody right now. You got to show me.
Barry McGuigan described Crawford as an old-school fighter, similar to Sugar Ray Robinson, with exceptional timing. He noted that Crawford makes opponents miss briefly before launching his counterattacks. To neutralize Canelo's power early on, Crawford will need to move quickly in and out of range instead of staying rooted in one spot. McGuigan also emphasized that Crawford must be smart and avoid trading punches with Canelo, who thrives on those exchanges. Early in the fight, Crawford will likely stay elusive and use his agility to avoid getting pulled into a grueling slugfest, which wouldn't be in his favor.
Canelo's now 10-0 at super middleweight, but largely untouchable at this weight class. Why do you believe that you're the man to knock him off?
I'm the best. That's why. That's why everybody gonna come and watch September 12th.
All right, bud. Good luck on September 12th.
Barry recently said, "When you see Canelo starting to fade, that's when you step on the gas and trade punches. But Canelo will know how to respond." Meanwhile, Tim Bradley spoke out, urging Canelo Alvarez to give Terence Crawford the fight he's been demanding. At 37, Crawford is eager for this matchup but hasn't secured it yet, partly because he hasn't faced the top fighters at 168 and 175 pounds. Bradley encouraged Canelo, the unified super middleweight champ, not to avoid the challenge. Some say this fight is more about giving Crawford a golden parachute, a way for him to retire comfortably and enjoy a luxurious life, perhaps in a big Beverly Hills home.
Disrespectful for Crawford to call you out at 68, say that he can beat you at this weight?
No, you know, everybody wants to fight with me, so it's fine.
That being a biggest fight possible in boxing, is that something you'd actually be interested in?
You know, it's crazy when you ask him about that because you say, your matchup is coming out of the other weight classes and that's it, and he's welterweight, so don't make sense. But if the fight made sense, why not?
A lot of people have him at number 1.
And you can see the same tendencies that Canelo has now, but he's a lot older now. But I just think that Terence have more skills than Lara. and I think he can do more. And you're saying that, oh, Canelo.
Crawford seemed to reach his limit moving up through the weight classes, looking far from his best in his last fight on August 3rd against 154-pound champion Israel Madrimov. Throughout the match, Crawford appeared tired and struggled to handle Madrimov's powerful right hands. After that showing, some wonder why Canelo would want to face him. Tim Bradley weighed in on his YouTube channel, telling Canelo, "Don't run from this fight. You already avoided the Bivol bout, and you don't seem to care what people say about you skipping that fight. You're out there walking Mexico, not worried about opinions. Make the fight with Crawford. It's the one everyone wants to see. It's also Crawford's chance to prove his greatness to you and the world."
Super strong guy, man, technique. You already know, if you ever wrestled before, the person that got better technique usually win. It don't matter how much the weight they have or what they're carrying around. It's the technique. Crawford knows how to take care of himself on the inside.
Everyone keeps talking about the weight difference, saying Canelo will knock Crawford out. But when was the last time Canelo actually scored a knockout? That narrative doesn't quite hold up. Canelo and Crawford are both 5 feet 8 inches, and Canelo began his career at 147 pounds. He's not a natural at 168 either, Bradley pointed out. Bradley also noted that compared to Crawford, Canelo is bigger, stronger, and more skilled. Crawford, now 37, barely edged out Israel Madrimov at 154 pounds in August. Many fans believe the Nebraska native is too small and too old to move up 14 pounds and take on Canelo for his unified titles. However, Bradley's views haven't been well received by all boxing fans, sparking criticism from some and support from others who back Crawford.
He knows how to smother. He knows how to tie up. He knows how to rough guys up. He knows how to turn guys. He understands weight distribution, man. You know, not only that, the only way that I see Canelo beating Crawford is he got to knock him out. And one
Bud versus Canelo, who you pick? I'm gonna go for Crawford. Cause then, when he beats, let's say he beats Canelo, and I get ammunition, so when I fight him, and I beat Canelo. You know what I mean? Respect and BK all day, 718, what up? You heard? Yo, Jake.
Many experts have weighed in on how the upcoming fight might unfold, and legendary commentator Jim Lampley recently shared his prediction during an interview with Chris Mannix. Lampley highlighted how Alvarez has grown since his loss to Mayweather, praising Canelo's counterpunching ability and toughness in taking hits, expressed great respect for Canelo's accomplishments, and suggested the Mexican star might not lose again until he decides to retire. When asked if that includes a potential loss to Crawford, Lampley said he believes it might, but also spoke highly of Crawford's skills and talent.
Terence Crawford is the most violent force in boxing. And I don't think he's big enough to match with Canelo Alvarez, but I think he'd love to have a chance to prove it. Terence Crawford has gotten a lot of credit for what he's done, and he deserves it. The performance against Spence was spectacular. I told everybody Terence Crawford's pound for pound number one. Most journalists and writers in the sport have ranked Terence Crawford pound for pound number one. 2 days ago, I said,
"I do like him against Bud Crawford, and I think it's a fantastic matchup," Lampley said. "Of course, my opinion could change as the fight approaches. To me, Bud Crawford is like a modern-day Sugar Ray Robinson. He's skilled both offensively and defensively, with a fierce inner drive he can unleash whenever needed to take control." Lampley also praised Crawford's impressive win over Errol Spence Jr., saying Bud stands head and shoulders above many others. He went on to describe Crawford and Canelo Alvarez as two of the greatest fighters of this generation, making their upcoming bout a must-watch event.
Alvarez, how do you feel about not being pound for pound number one anymore? He looked at me with a blank expression and said, "What are you talking about? I'm still pound for pound number one." There's a 21-pound weight gap there. Terence Crawford's a 147-pound fighter. I'm sure he'd go as high as 160. Can he get Canelo Alvarez to come down from 68 to 60 to fight him? I don't know. I'm not sure that.
The upcoming clash between Terence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez this September in Las Vegas has boxing fans buzzing. The matchup has everyone hooked because of their contrasting fighting styles, high ring IQs, and the jump in weight classes. As excitement builds, opinions remain split on who will come out on top. Now Jose Benavidez, older brother of WBC interim light heavyweight champion David Benavidez, has weighed in. The 32-year-old knows Crawford well. He faced him in a tough knockout loss during the 2018 WBO welterweight title fight. Having seen Bud up close, Jose is well aware of what Crawford brings to the ring. He also mentioned that his younger brother never got the chance to face Canelo, which kept him from fully proving himself.
Canelo, you know, I mean, he's not that big of a guy. He obviously weighs more, but I mean, you can't take nothing from Crawford. He goes in there to win. So I mean, I feel like it'd be a good fight. You know, it sucks that my brother didn't get the opportunity, but I mean, only Canelo knows why it didn't happen. And you just gotta keep moving forward. You know, gotta keep moving forward. But it's gonna be a good fight to watch. I got Crawford on this one. The thing with him, he is.
Jose Benavidez recently appeared at a press conference for the David Morrell vs. David Benavidez fight. During an interview with Fight Hub TV, he was asked for his thoughts on the upcoming Crawford vs. Canelo matchup. Without hesitation, Jose praised Crawford, calling him a freaking beast who is smart and knows exactly what he's doing. Regarding Canelo, Jose acknowledged that while the Mexican fighter is naturally bigger, size isn't the only factor that decides a fight. He added, "Canelo's not that big of a guy, even though he weighs more. But you can't take anything away from Crawford. He goes in there and gets the win."
He adjusts, he's not only does he switch from, you know, from southpaw to orthodox, but he's just a smart, he has a high IQ in boxing, you know. And that's what I feel like all these fighters that go in there to fight Canelo, they already go in there scared is what I believe, you know, that which already beats him, you know. So Crawford's gonna go in there.
At the same time, Jose expressed frustration on behalf of his younger brother. "It's really disappointing that my brother never got that chance. Only Canelo knows why it didn't happen, and now he just has to keep moving forward," Jose said. As the interim super middleweight champion, David Benavidez was once the mandatory challenger for Canelo. However, talks reportedly stalled after Canelo demanded a very high purse for the fight. With no progress, Benavidez moved up to light heavyweight and went on to beat Alexander Gudzik, capturing the interim title there. When asked about Terence Crawford's ring intelligence, Jose was straightforward and didn't hold back.
Canelo did what he had to do to get the victory.
What do you want next? It seems like that's going to be the fight. Terence Crawford versus Canelo Alvarez, the biggest fight in boxing.
Well, Canelo's the face of boxing. He's the best fighter for Terence Crawford out there. He's the biggest fight for Terence Crawford out there. So that's why Terence Crawford want to take the opportunity to share a ring with another great.
How do you beat him?
You'll see.
Jose Benavidez praised Crawford's intelligence inside the ring, saying, "He's just a smart fighter." He also pointed out Crawford's ability to switch seamlessly between southpaw and orthodox stances, which makes him unpredictable and dangerous. Benavidez noted that many fighters seem intimidated before facing Canelo, but he believes Crawford won't have that fear. "Crawford is going in to win, he's not going there to lose," he said confidently. Despite Crawford having fought only once at super welterweight and moving up 2 more weight classes for this bout, Jose is convinced Crawford has what it takes to become just the third man to defeat Canelo in 66 professional fights.
Talking about the weight differences, what's your kind of response to that, Terence?
That's why we fight the fight. So September 12th, we all gonna see if the weight gonna make a difference or not.
Do you want to fight him twice and then retire? Is that kind of the ideal thing for you?
One fight at a time, one fight at a time.
What did you make of, I know you didn't say much on tonight, the effectiveness of William School? He came to decision as opposed to win the fight. Would you agree with that?
What makes the challenge even tougher is that Canelo has previously fought as high as light heavyweight twice. His most recent fight at that weight was a points loss to Dmitry Bivol, but his first attempt ended with a stoppage victory over Sergey Kovalev. That win earned Canelo a world title in his 4th weight class and showcased his elite power and durability. Speaking to Fight Hub TV, Kovalev expressed respect for Crawford's skills, saying he believes Crawford has what it takes to beat Canelo. However, Kovalev pointed out that the extra 14 pounds, if Crawford fights at the 168-pound limit, could be a key factor. "Terence Crawford is a great fighter, and I have huge respect for him. I think he's the best pound-for-pound fighter, but moving up in weight may affect how comfortable he feels in the ring," Kovalev said.
Crawford, based off his last performance with the Cuban William School, how do you think things are going to play out for Canelo come September 13 against Terence Crawford?
I think Canelo is the favorite of this fight. It's still a big than Crawford. And I don't know, Crawford, how is Crawford now? It's my age, 39, and last performance don't look good. So I pick Canelo in the.
Yeah, any advice?
Canelo, Crawford. What do you think, and how is sparring with each guy?
Anytime you spar with elite level guys, you know, you learn something from them, and you gain experience. You know, I've been in the ring with Canelo Alvarez, as you said. I've been in the ring with Atlanti Laura. I've been in the ring with Triple G. I've been in the ring with Adrian Broner. I've been in the ring with Daniel Jacobs. I've been in the ring with.
Regarding the division, it's going to be at super middleweight. Some say that's a tough jump for Crawford because moving up means he might lose speed and quickness. Usually, boxers try to lose weight to stay fast and light, and gaining too much weight can slow them down. Still, despite the concerns, many believe Crawford can pull off the win. One fighter shared, Canelo will keep his hands up and walk Crawford down. Crawford is very smart, but no one really knows how he'll feel at super middleweight. That's a lot of weight. I fought at 200 pounds once. I wasn't a light heavyweight. I was slow and uncomfortable. I think Crawford might feel the same if he gets heavier. But if he's in shape, he can beat Canelo. Corbin Davis, who has sparred with both fighters, also believes Crawford has the edge. Speaking to Fight Hype, Davis said, "Preparation is going to be everything." Crawford has been sitting at a heavier weight for a while now. He's been showing his training, and that's a big factor. That's all for now. For the latest updates, news, and highlights from the boxing world, make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss any of our quality content. Until next time, peace.